Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am Adnan Hossain, Senior Lecturer, Department of English, Dhaka College, and as you see, our today's topic of discussion is punctuation. Now, this is a very easy topic, but often we make mistakes in case of punctuation and capitalization. Although this is perhaps one of the easiest ones, but as we do not practice or as we do not study it properly, our mistakes happen at our examination hall. So let's discuss punctuation today, and in the next class we are going to finish capitalization. So let's proceed. The first punctuation mark is perhaps one of the widely used and a very common one, that is full stop. We use full stop after every full sentence. Let us study, I love my country, I am a student. After every full sentence we use full stop when it is a kind of assertive sentence, especially, or of course in case of optative or imperative sentences. Only interrogative sentences are followed by note of interrogation, and exclamatory sentences are followed by note of exclamation, which we are going to discuss later. So I think there is no need to discuss about full stop anymore. So let's proceed. Comma. Now when we are discussing about comma, when we are adding any information like Jami, Adnan and Khosru are the members of the champion team. So here we are adding the information with comma. After Jami we are adding Adnan, and then Adnan is being followed by Khosru. If we did not use the word and here, we may use another comma, that is Jami, Adnan, Khosru. When we are adding information one after another, then we will use comma one after another after each information until we have reached at the last one. Now in case of appositives, what are appositives? Appositives are a particular noun phrase which modify another noun, like Professor Nihal Ahmed. Then comes the noun phrase. The former principal of Dhaka College is a very famous academician. Now Professor Nihal Ahmed, the proper noun phrase, which is the name of our honorable former principal sir, this is followed by a comma. Then comes the appositive. So between the main noun or the noun phrase and the appositive, there will be a comma. If it would be like the former principal of Dhaka College, Professor Nihal Ahmed, is a famous academician, then we do not need to use any comma. But when we are using it as the appositive form, then we are using the comma. What is appositive? This word appositive you have come and through when you were studying modifier even. Now appositives are those noun phrases who are being used after a proper noun and they modify that particular proper noun. Like here, the former principal of Dhaka College, this phrase is modifying the name of our former principal sir, Professor Nihal Ahmed. If we say that Pele, the greatest footballer of all time, is still alive, then what we see that Pele, the proper noun, and it is followed by a comma, and then comes the appositive, the greatest footballer of all time. Then comes another example, that is when you are addressing somebody. Perhaps you are addressing your friend, to do something, or you are asking something. Rahman, do you know him? Suppose there is somebody named Rahman and you are asking him about any information, then perhaps you are asking it like, Rahman, do you know him? Then you will use comma after the noun. If you are addressing somebody and ordering something, that is Shajib, do it quickly, then after the word Shajib you will use comma. So that is for all, for this punctuation mark comma. Then let us proceed. Semicolon. Semicolon is a little bit more pause in case of instead of comma. That is the pause we are making when we are reading something and we just see a comma. The pause will be more when we find a semicolon. Like the first example, we went to playground, played football and come back. When we are coordinating clauses, in case of comma we were coordinating information, words, sounds, but here we are coordinating clauses. Like here at the first one, that is we went to the playground, semicolon, played football and came back. The second example is he had all the documents, yet he was not allowed in the university. Contrasting while using the words like therefore, yet, however, otherwise, still, nevertheless. Sorry for the word nevertheless being broken. So it will be like he had all the documents, semicolon, yet he was not allowed in the university. He is very good at his studies, semicolon, therefore he was promoted at the higher class, or therefore he was provided the scholarship. So we are using therefore, so before the therefore we will use the semicolon, not a comma. So we can say that comma usually is being used when we are dealing with words or sounds, while when we are dealing with clauses, like at the first example, if we divide this sentence, what we will get? We went to the playground, we played football, we came back. So we are adding all these sentences, we are joining them with semicolon. In the second example, we can see that we are contrasting two clauses. Like he had all the documents, then we are putting the semicolon, yet he was not allowed in the university. So we are using the words like therefore, yet, however, so, otherwise, still, nevertheless. Then colon. So when we are quoting something, that is explain the lines, then heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Or in case of drama or dialogue, that is Bokul colon, how are you? Bokul is speaking, how are you, Jamie? So quoting something, this itself is being used followed by a colon. So we are quoting something, then the whole explanation comes. Or in case of the drama or a dialogue, that is when we are writing a dialogue, we must use colon after the subject, that is after the name of the speaker, and then we are writing the whole dialogue or we are writing the whole quotation. Note of interrogation, of course we can understand that note of interrogation, প্রশ্নবোধক চিহ্ন, those comes when we are asking any question, no matter if it is a yes no question or a WH question. Like here I have given the example with a WH question, like where are you, but it can be a tag question or a yes no question as well. Do you like it? Then we will put note of interrogation. You don't like it, do you? Okay, fine, tag question, note of interrogation. However, if it is an indirect question, then we are not using any note of interrogation. May I know where are you? This happens when we change the narration. That is, in case of narration, suppose the at the direct speech we see, I know, I said to him, then comes the quotation, where are you? At the indirect narration we are asking, I asked him where he was. So when we are turning it into indirect, ultimately there will be no note of interrogation. This particular thing, in case of note of interrogation, we must remember. Like in case of indirect questions, in case of indirect narration, we do not use any note of interrogation, because when we are turning anything into indirect one, ultimately what we are doing, we are turning it into a statement, an assertive sentence from the interrogative one. So we will not use note of interrogation when it is in the case of an indirect question. But if there is a direct question, whether it is a tag question, whether it is a yes no question, whether it is a WH question, no matter, we must put the note of interrogation. Like where are you? Will you come? Yes no question. Where are you was a WH question. You will come, won't you? A tag question. In each of the cases we will use note of interrogation. Then comes note of exclamation in case of all the exclamatory sentences. Like alas, I am undone. The word alas, it is an exclamatory sentence. Then what a beautiful scenery, note of exclamation. However, if the exclamatory sentence is being changed into an assertive one, and if we are changing it in the narrations, we must use the full stop, not note of exclamation at the end of the sentence. Like if I say that alas I am undone, I exclaimed that I was undone. Or if I say that what a beautiful scenery it is a very beautiful scenery. In both of the cases I exclaimed that I was undone, or it is a very beautiful scenery. Okay, they are full of emotion, but they are not exclamatory sentences. Rather, the exclamatory sentences are alas I am undone, or what a beautiful scenery, or what a pity, these things. So in case of exclamatory sentence we will use note of exclamation, but if the exclamatory sentence has been turned into an assertive one, then we won't use any note of exclamation, no matter how much emotional even that assertive sentence is. That mistake we often make in case of direct to indirect speech conversion. When we are converting the direct speech into indirect one, often we keep the note of exclamation. We should not do that. Now, inverted comma. In case of reported speech or any quotation, yes, where are you going? That is, or when you are quoting someone, heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. This is a quote by John Keats, a famous English poet. What we will do is, we will put it under the inverted comma. In all the quotations, we were going to put it under inverted comma. Now, apostrophe. Apostrophe is used in case of two situations. One, for possession, that is when we are possessing something. Like, this is Rahim's book. So Rahim is in the possession of that particular book. Rahim's. What's the matter? So curtailing the word or phrase, what is? Actually, the question should be, what is? What is the matter? We are changing it into what's the matter? Or even shall not. Shall I not do this? We will change it into shan't I do this? Indeed, this curtailing with apostrophe, these tag formats have made the language much easier for you, because I can remember when I was a student like you, I have to memorize the rule, that is, when I am changing something into negative interrogative, first of all, I should not use any tag format, so I have to write it down in the full format. So if the subject is the noun, shall not Rahim done it, that is, the structure will be shall, that is the auxiliary verb plus not plus subject. But if the subject is a pronoun, then shall I not do this, that is, the structure will be shall plus subject plus not. But fortunately, you have got rid of this problem and you are using the tag format. So shan't we do this? Won't Rahim do this? You can easily use the tag format, and that has become very easier for you. Okay, fine. Let's come back to our punctuation. That is, when we are curtailing something, what's the matter? Shan't I come here? Won't you go? In all of the cases, in all of the curtailed form or all of the tag form, we will use apostrophe. Hyphen. So in case of compound sentences, like father, compound words like father-in-law, mother-in-law, these words, father hyphen in-law, in hyphen law, mother hyphen in law. In case of these compound words, we use hyphen. Or also, when we are using, when we are putting some parts of the sentence at another line, because we are in want of space. For example, let's think, suppose you are writing the sentence here, I shall see him. Now that is the limit of the page, that is the margin of the page. Now you have to, or yes, I shall see him yesterday, that is the margin of the page, and you have written yes up to it. Then yesterday, you have to write down tarde here, you are putting a hyphen here, and then the other part of the word here. But beware, that is not an standard form nowadays. So the second example I have given, that is actually not a standard form of English nowadays, and please do not do this at your examination hall. So hyphen is usually used when we are using compound words, but dash, yes, what is the the same thing, dash is being called hyphen when it is in the compound words. But what is dash? The scope of dash is rather more than hyphen. So let's discuss it. Sudden change of a thought. For example, you are writing about your own thought, but suddenly there is a change. If I did not commit the mistake, but suddenly you are thinking that am I thinking it? Just put a dash and, but why think of the past? I don't need to think of the past. Or when you are giving a lengthy information, that is putting example of something. He sold many things, dash, land, jewelry, furniture. You are giving examples. For example, you are speaking about the Bengali youth once upon a time were very good in many kinds of sports. Then dash, football, cricket, kabaddi, hadudu, etc. So when you are giving many examples, ultimately you are putting a dash between the clauses and between all the examples you are giving, before all the examples you are giving, and then your dash is being followed by all the examples or all the lengthy information you are providing to the audience or to the reader. So students, that is all for today. Basically, the class for punctuation is rather very much shortened because today we have discussed all the punctuation marks. When we make our mistakes, like let's see the examples regarding comma. Suppose, let's think about a situation when we have not putting any kind of punctuation here and all of these things are at the capital letter, at the smaller letter. Then perhaps you may become confused because despite you knowing everything, you make mistakes in this lesson, and what happens here, that is often people actually commit mistakes solving this passage. Like if I say that Jami, Adnan, Khosru are the members of the champion team, they own a marvelous trophy last year. Perhaps if the word and is not put, we may commit mistake in case of putting comma here. Or when we are using semicolon, suppose we went to the playground, instead of semicolon we use comma. So beware when we will use comma, when we will use semicolon. We are using semicolon when we are dealing with clauses. We are using comma when we are dealing with sounds or words. Or note of interrogation. As I have said, that often we commit mistake when we are using note of interrogation because we become confused regarding the indirect and direct questions. Note of interrogations will be always used in case of direct questions, be it a WH question, be it a yes no question, or be it a tag question, that doesn't matter. But we will never use any indirect in case of any indirect question, the note of interrogation, because all the indirect questions are structurally they are affirmatives. And in case of any quotation, for example, when we are saying, perhaps that is we are quoting John Keats, heard melodies are sweet, those which are unheard. or sweeter. So this is a direct quotation and we are putting inverted comma here. But if I say that John Keats said that, and then we are quoting him, we don't need to put down inverted comma here. So we must understand whether it is a direct speech or indirect one. If the quotation is put down into direct speech, then we will put down inverted comma. If it is not, we will not put any inverted comma. Often we see that, okay, fine, this is said by a very famous philosopher, then let's put a inverted comma here. No, do not do this. At first, mark the structure of the sentence, whether it is in direct or indirect form, then put the inverted comma. Well, I think that is for today, and best of luck, my dear students. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.